Hey everyone, and welcome. Hey Matt.
Hi, Cody.
Yay, it worked tonight.
Yes, on the first try. And so for the first time, we don't have anybody here at the moment. But I'm pretty sure if you're watching this on on the replay, Cody will be leaving us for about 30 minutes and will be joining us later. He was just making sure we were set up.
Getting Matt set up. I'm going to go finish some cheese boards and some honey and some wine. It's still early over here on the West Coast. I know y'all are all like,
right. And we
later.
Also started a little early tonight to kind of spare me a little bit, which we'll talk about later in the show. I'm usually up pretty late, but I'm not necessarily active. And there is a difference.
For sure. Well, Matt,
is everything posted? We're streaming everything?
We are streaming everywhere.
Awesome. So I am going to go ahead and repost it. And I will see you in 30-40 minutes.
Yes, I'll be back. Have fun.
I will. I'm sure everybody that's not here will love being babysat by me.
See you in a little bit.
Wait, we're not there. Well, everyone, we are currently not there. Let's see here. If you're watching this on replay, once we start streaming, I will go through and then retweet it from my personal account. So since most people tend to interact with us, or there are people that know us, so they tend to just follow on my personal account and go from there. So right now there is nobody watching, so I am just texting and responding to messages. But it's been a pretty quiet day. I slept a lot. Oh, yay, somebody's joined us. Join me. So I cannot see who. So if you do join us, just say hi in the chat, just so I know. And we can talk from there, or you can join the audio. I can have Cody send a link, or I can send one. But right now, Cody is finishing up dinner and cheese boards at his house because he is 2 hours behind me. So it is only 9 o'clock at his house, and it's 11 o'clock at mine. So I'm just babysitting for a half hour, so we can talk about whatever. This is the late night, so everything's open and on the table. So I'm in a different room. I'm in my own room. So I don't really like having the kids' board background that I have during the week behind me for the late night show because the conversation can kind of swing and deviate all over the place. But right now, let's see, there's one person watching through, looks like right through the ComaCast site. Nobody's on YouTube or Facebook. I think that's Twitch. So, David, is that you? Oh, yay, it's my husband. So if you're watching this on replay, it is my husband that just logged in, and I just heard him from another room, which is perfect because I need to plug my laptop in because my screen keeps going dark. Oh, actually, this looks great. Thank you, David. Logging in. So tonight we started early just so that we could not start at close to midnight, which most of us are kind of tired by midnight, or even if we're not tired, not really feeling super active. So I hope everyone's had a good week, or if you didn't join us yesterday or had a good start to your weekend. I swear this is only water. I'm on meds and they give me really bad dry mouth, and I'm on a blood pressure medication as well. So that also contributes to that. So I'm kind of always thirsty, especially when we do the podcast and live shows. I just get super thirsty every few minutes. Let's see here. Right now, if anybody has anything they want to talk about or share, this is definitely time to do it. It's usually cold in my office, but in my room it gets really hot, so I am sweating. So I have a hoodie that I'll probably end up putting back on like 4 times throughout this. And Cody's camera just turned back on, and it's moving. So I think Salem. We need to text Cody because I think Salem or Ella might have gotten a hold of his camera. So that's kind of funny. So as far as I know, Cody's not in the room with his camera right now. So I think one of the kitty cats might have joined us. So I just texted him just in case. Oh, it's Salem. I can see Salem. I'm trying to get Cody's attention. Try texting Gabe. Sorry about that. This is not the most exciting start. I apologize, everyone. But in exciting news, starting probably this Monday, we are going to start doing a show for me. That's just me. So Cody does a thing called Cocktails with Cody, where he makes cocktails and he releases them on Snapchat, and you could watch them. He does release them on his Twitter. If you follow him on Snapchat, I believe he is John Cody Rodriguez on everything, or no, he's Cody Rodriguez on everything. But so, and I'm not involved with his show. So he and Justin do the filming and editing and everything, and they put it out for that. And that's his thing that he does. But he thought it'd be fun to do something with me where it's just me and not being not us going back and forth. So we're going to likely do a 30-minute. It may not be. It's likely not going to be live, but it'll be released on Monday. So we might start recording it Monday and kind of see what we do with it. But it's likely going to be 2 different segments of either me talking about just like random topics or historical stuff or books I've read because I'm a huge geek. And but Cody's going to be producing it, so we're just trying different projects and styles because we both have lots of different interests. So we figured we have the time. It takes a lot of time, but we have the time. So we're going to go ahead and just put everything out there. So for now, that's what we're going to do. And then the next thing, one of the things I wanted to bring up was the subject of everybody being vaccinated. I had a doctor's appointment Friday. Yeah, yesterday. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, and while I was in triage, the medical assistant asked me if I was going to get the vaccine, and I said yeah, whenever I'm eligible to go get it. And she asked if I was going to get the Johnson & Johnson one, and I said yeah, I don't have a problem with that. That's the one that's a single shot, and it's becoming more available here. And I said yeah, I read the study about it, about how it was effective and everything. I was like, that would be great if that's, a single shot and I'm done. And she said that she was, yeah, a couple of coworkers got that one yesterday, but she seemed kind of on the fence about it. She was, what did the study say? So we were talking about it, and if you remember, over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about how Johnson & Johnson talked about it being 63% effective, and how it was really misinterpreted. They've really misinterpreted. So we clarified that, how it was 63% likely to effective against major symptoms, meaning that it was it was 100% effective against keeping you from death or ICU or major symptoms. You could still get, headaches and fevers if you caught it, but headaches and fevers are not major symptoms. You can live through a headache and a fever and feeling uncomfortable or feeling sick or not feeling good. It more so means that it prevents critical symptoms or symptoms that could be life-threatening or causing complications. There's a lot of things happening right now, and we don't really talk a lot about pop culture, but it floated across my screen the other day about J-Lo and A-Rod splitting up, and that kind of surprised me. And then let's see here. There's a couple of things I was reading about earlier. Is we can talk about pop culture a little bit. So we all know Dustin Diamond from Saved by the Bell, aka Screech. He died a few weeks ago at the age of 44 of cancer. He died of small cell lung cancer. And so this, of course, now people are talking about, what did the cast members think? What about all these things he did, these tell-alls he did, and talking about the rift between him and the other cast members. And Mark Paul Gosselaar, who portrayed Zach in the series, was like, there's nothing to it. We just fell out of touch, and we never really took it personal. We were on good terms. We just didn't stay close when we weren't working together. And I think that's difficult for people to believe, because they worked together. Or if you remember anything about the 90s, Saved by the Bell was a thing. And you see these 5 young people working together, doing these promos together, laughing and smiling together. And I think people forget that they're also co-workers, and co-workers does not always mean friends. I mean, there's lots of people at my jobs that I totally adored them, but when 5 o'clock came, or whenever I left, that was the end of my shift, and that was kind of the line on the friendship. When I permanently left my career as an adjuster, I did message one of my teammates the day of, and I said, okay, so since it's going to be my last day and we can be actual friends, do you want to be friends now that I'm leaving? Because we all live here in San Antonio. And so him and his wife and David and I, we used to go out to dinner. Actually texted them today and checked on them. Very happy for them. They're getting their first shot, one of the shots, I think, next week. So I'm super happy for them. So it's easy to forget that coworkers and friends, just because it looks like they're having a good time together, you can be civil and cordial and still have even a pleasant or wonderful time, and still not want to maintain a close relationship with someone just when you're not around them anymore. And then, let's see, there's a couple of really interesting things that I was just happened to be reading in the news. There's one about a Texas guy. You kind of expect this in Florida. He had driven his so he drove a dealership loaner to rob a bank so he could buy a BMW. And I'm like, wow. Usually that's a very Florida thing to do. Growing up in Florida, what Florida looks like is weird. It's the news, all on its own. It's hard to explain, but you can literally see an alligator swimming through a canal at times, and then you might go years and not see one if you don't look. But oftentimes things on the banks, alligators, the way they attack, if they're on the water and they shoot out of the water and grab something off the bank, so we just kind of know not to play in those areas or get too close, because we know better. Well, in Florida, it being Florida, between dumb criminal stories and the wildlife that lives there, that's another one that is just part of daily life there. I'm pretty sure, I'm sure Cody read the story because it was Disney involved, but I believe it was Disney World Orlando. But a little boy was snatched right off the banks by a gator in Disney, and it was a huge thing. And I think the family wanted to sue, and there are signs everywhere. Everywhere, even as a child, I remember seeing signs everywhere in Florida that there's always a risk of gators, and to pay attention and to not play near the water. It makes for a really good picture. It's very scenic and it's very tempting, and it's a bad idea because you won't see them coming at all. So it's really important that while we joke a lot about Florida and we give Florida lots of hell, deservedly so, for the really weird shit that happens there, nature is not a joke and it will fuck you up. And then, let's see, there's a couple things that I had wanted to bring up. Let's see. Cody will see this in the playback, but I have to admit, I have not seen WandaVision yet. It's on my list. I just didn't feel like it today because I just didn't. But let's see. Sorry, I'm responding to Cody. It looks like somebody showed back up and turned his camera off, but I don't know if anybody watching could see it, but I could see the top of Salem's head and ears appearing. So usually he's our little troublemaker when we're doing, if there's one of them that's going to do something, it's always Salem yanking out cords or doing something funny. It's much funnier from this end because I'm not trying to wrestle a cat. If you've ever, whenever your pet decides they're fascinated by something and they try to grab it. So there we are. Let's see here. It's a really quiet night tonight, actually. Usually everybody's pretty active for late nights, but I might actually have to go back to doing these on Sundays because I think people, we moved to Saturday because we thought people would be not, trying to avoid people being up late to be at work on Monday mornings, but it definitely seems that I think we might actually have to go to Sundays for everybody. And if you are here, thank you so much for joining us. I can only see numbers. I just see that 3 people are here, and I see one my husband's actually on Twitch watching, so yay, we love David for that. And then 2 other people are watching elsewhere, and I don't know who it is. So feel free to say hi, and we can talk about whatever. The late nights are for any subject that comes up. Mostly I'm excited. Speaking of things coming up, I'm excited for the newest season of American Horror Story releasing this year. I don't know what it's about. I was trying to find out earlier, and all I could read was some of the cast members, which was exciting because I was excited to see some of the cast come back, but I don't know who. There's still nothing about what it's going to be about. So here we are. Let's see. And, well, and Cody should be joining us in a few minutes. So I'm sure, and everybody loves, you can't not love Cody. He's so adorable. We were talking earlier, but, kind of making our plans and schedules and what we want to talk about and what we want to do this week. And we were talking about how it just doesn't feel like work. We put time into this, and Cody puts a lot of time into this because he has the tech side of it. And I feel like I have an easy part because we just kind of come up with it, but we both can't have our hands in everything at the same time. So, but I'm always available for him if he wants to ask me a question or my thoughts, or he shows me something he wants me to look at. And because it's the only thing I can do to give him my full attention and do anything I can to, participate and do anything that he asked me to do. So, and scrolling through something just for something for Cody, and I just saw funny tweets. But everybody, I hope you're all having a good weekend so far. Ours has been really quiet. I slept in quite a bit this morning, so my day started really late, and I ordered Starbucks, and I got the right thing in the wrong size. I ordered a Trenta cold brew, and I got a tall, and I don't mind. I just paid for a Trenta. David's was right. He gets those strawberry lemonade refreshers, and they're delicious. But his was right. But I got like the tall, and it was gone so fast, and it was really sad. It was actually very sad. And then my iPad is dead because I've been reading for the last couple of days. I put together a list of all the books everybody recommended to me, and then I read them, and some of them were by mutuals. One of them was by the husband of a mutual who had also written a book, so I've got to read his too when I get to it. But I'm reading the Memoirs of Cleopatra, and it's told from first person, from her perspective, from her childhood through her life, and it's a fictionalized account, but it's really fascinating. And again, I love history, let alone Egyptology, so that's been super fascinating and fun. So it's the third book I've read this past week, but it's also like 1,000 pages, so I'm only a few hundred pages into it. So I'm hoping to finish it by Wednesday or Thursday. And I also have, other stuff, my own book that I'm trying to finish. I'm hoping to be done with that by, my goal is this Saturday. I just have a few more things to write, edit, and kind of put in to make the book, I think, what I want. And then I'm going to send it off to a publisher and wait the 4 to 16 weeks for them to tell me if they want to work with me or not. Otherwise, I will probably self-publish it, put it out for $8 to $10, and hope for the best, because I don't know what I'm doing. Everything will have been edited myself, and David proofread it. Nobody has read what I have now. David read the one rough draft I have. So, and that was before I put it in the exact order that I wanted, deleted all my notes out of it. I mean, he read this thing with my highlighted notes in it. Every personal thought that I had about something, I put, interject with something else and put a note, read this, look here, go look this up, add this, add that. Things would be really distracting if you're trying to read a story, and this is like the beta copy, but like the rough draft of the beta copy, or was the one that he read. So he took him a couple days to get through it, and before I started re-editing to where I am now, I sat down and read it, and oh god, I know we're all our own worst critics, but it was painful. And then so hopefully being done with that this past week, but kind of just waiting for Cody to get here. And it's weird because when we do lives, when we do podcasts, we do segments and sections and stop for a minute or two, so run to the bathroom or just kind of stop and reset. Whereas on a live, it just kind of flows. So it's not like, and I'm not doing anything either. If I were to do this through Twitch, I would probably be sitting here playing a video game and talking to you guys so that you guys could, watch me hunt down zombies and or set it on really hard and watch me get frustrated. But from here, we don't have anything to say, okay, we're going to stop and change subjects. But I did want to comment on something, because I can comment on it here. I can't do it on the Friday 5 o'clock show. But here, one of my favorite mutuals at Little Churro PDX, he had commented something. He put a scoop of ice cream, like the 2 scoops of ice cream in a waffle cone, going about the buy-in tricolorness of my dick. So that has not died. And then a comment I made yesterday to Cody about how he shies away from cold drinks or cold things like blizzards or frappuccinos, iced coffees, etc. And I was like, oh, you're like a lizard, just sit on my face. You have something warm to sit on while you digest your food. So I've not heard the end of that yet. And then somebody commented on Little Churros, going on about, so he posts peen on his account, and he had Little Churro had commented back that, yeah, I think so, but yeah, on his alt. And the answer is yes. On my alt, it's, I don't want to say anything goes, but it's a lot more relaxed, and I don't care. I mean, my face is only in 1 or 2 pictures in that whole account. And I mean, you can see my tattoo in it in most of my pictures. So it's me anyway. But shout out to the guy who tagged me in one of my alt pictures because they were concerned that I was catfishing or somebody had stolen my pictures. And while I appreciate the concern, I would think that maybe if you felt that close to me, that you were so worried, maybe you could DM me and ask me if it's me, since you obviously had both my accounts. And at that point, you pretty much had to ask me for that account at that time, because I had only posted it once ever. But watching everybody's accounts and watching the timeline today has been weird, because I've been kind of half asleep. And especially, like when we do the lives, I'm awake at night, but like I said earlier, when it hits around midnight Cody's time, it's 2 a.m. here, and we might have already been on for 2 or 3 hours, because people kind of come and go and pass through. So the conversation changes directions. We might play a game or something, which I would really like to do. I think it'd be really fun to play a game. But for now, it's just kind of chatter, so we can just kind of hang out and decompress from the week. Because Fridays we talk more about news articles, and we keep it light, but it's kind of more news related and a little more business-ish with a light tone, whereas this we could just kind of completely, just decompress and just kind of talk to our heart's content about whatever we all want. Of course, right now, you guys just have me, and I'm just chattering away. So I appreciate you listening, and for everybody that's still here and hasn't run away. One of my mutuals cut his own hair and responded to his message about it. He did a really good job, and he cut his hair in a similar way that I just cut David's a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. But I have to cut it every 2 weeks to keep it, cleaned up, and so it looks good for him. But this guy did such a good job. It was hard for me to do, 1, because I don't know how to cut hair, but 2, because I don't really know what I'm doing. And this person did it by themselves with just themselves, clippers, scissors, and a mirror. And it's a hairstyle where your hair is buzzed up to here, and David's hair is cut like the crown and then combed over. But I kept it more even on the side, and then cleaned up the ears and cut the top a little bit, try to give it a little bit of texture, so it wasn't just one big flap of hair just slapped over. That, it has some life to it. But David's hair sticks up in like 6 different directions in one part of his head, so he has to wear a hat or let the hair grow long enough to be weighted down. And so it's kind of, the only way to avoid that would be to cut it literally almost up to what would be almost his middle part line, if he doesn't want to deal with that part of his head. And so to avoid that, we have to just cut the one section short and let the other section grow out and keep doing it. So now we're to the point where I can kind of twist my fingers in his hair and then shave it around. But I don't really think that's like a sanctioned technique. I just, or I use bobby pins or like that he bought for me to use this, but his hair fights back. So whenever I do this, it becomes, it's like his hair knows what I'm trying to do and then fights back. And it's weirdly gotten cold in my room out of nowhere. So hopefully Cody joins us so we can play a game or something and do something. Let's see. Yeah, it's just pretty quiet. I have to say, apparently I posted a throwback picture of everyone asking, what'd you look like 10 years ago? So I posted a picture, I think it's about 10 years ago, and it was a progress picture I took in the bathroom at the gym I was in. And the gym was so small, it literally had one, had like, it still had just like boys' bathroom, girls' bathroom. Like it had one, not more than one person, not more than one guy at a time can go pee. That kind of gym. It's a small gym called Snap Fitness. And so I taken a progress picture in there several years ago, and I posted it, and I just was like, okay, we can laugh about it because I just always feel so cringy. I had actually posted a picture to Facebook. I made myself do it because it's just uncomfortable, and I can't be more than. That might have been a time when I got myself up to 130-ish pounds, but I usually couldn't hold it for longer than a few months, and then I would slide back down to 110, 115 or something. There's
so
Cody.
I heard the parties here.
Yeah. Did you get my did you get my message
about Mr. Salem?
Yeah. When you watch the playback, I was pretty sure it was Salem, but I was like, it's either Salem or Ella. And then I see this little tiny top of a head and little dark ears just kind of whoop, like that were on your chair.
God, that's so cute.
It was super
Yeah,
cute, actually.
that was in the office and game room, and that's where Salem kind of hangs out, and that's where he's at when Ella's out. And
Gotcha.
so I set all of it up and then walked away. And normally we put the mouse and the keyboard up. The keyboard has an on and off switch, so I was on off. But the mouse just happened to be hovering over the on off button to bring in a camera. And well, that's what he did, I guess.
Well,
He
so
brought
when he
himself
turned
into
it
the
on,
show.
it was maybe 5 minutes after you walked away, and I was like, oh crap, what if he's chewing? That was my fear. He's chewing on something. So when I texted you and you didn't immediately like show up, I texted Gabe and I'm like, can you go tell Cody Salem is joining us? Like help. So I didn't know
Yeah,
if
we
you got my
were.
message or Gabe's, but
He told me that you messaged me, or was trying to get a hold of me, and then I looked at my phone. We were like cleaning up everything, so I don't know why I didn't feel it on my watch, but yeah,
well, I told
he
him, I
just
was
wanted
like, can
to
you tell
hang out.
Cody that Salem's playing with his camera? Because I didn't know if he was playing with the camera or was chewing. And I was like, oh God, this is how we end up taking Coma Cast down for a month. Salem does something really bad.
I know, my goodness. So how has things been?
Well, nobody has said anything except for David. David logged on through Twitch, my husband. And so I was like, wait, who's on through Twitch? I was like, David. He's like, it's me. Like, yeah, thank you. At one point there were 4 people here, but nobody has said anything. So it's like, guys, I swear Cody will be here soon.
The party can start now. Hello. So how was your Saturday?
It was good. We
I
binge
just
watched the
erased my
entire
wine.
season of American Horror Story. I charged I
Which
killed
one?
my iPad watching reading a book all day yesterday. So, and then I didn't realize I went like, you know what, let me take a break and try working on my book. Yeah, I killed that laptop too. So I was like, crap. So I just killed everything. But it is important to note that I did get Dairy Queen yesterday, and it was a large.
You did.
And I ate all of it, and it was delicious. And that's just
What kind of Dairy Queen did you get?
Oh, I get a
Or like, what was your
Royal New York
blizzard? Or
cheesecake blizzard.
oh, that's right. You were telling me about this cheesecake blizzard, and I'd never, excuse me, I've never had it.
Right, because you don't like cold things. But as you remember, I did come up with a solution to help you with liking cold things.
You did. You
And I've gotten
did.
some funny text messages about it
Oh my God, that's great.
too.
Um, yeah, no, I like blizzards. But let's see. I used to get, well, I love the pumpkin pie blizzard. Of course, I love anything pumpkin pie. So
Yeah, I should have known
that's exciting.
I should have known I did not belong to half my family because most of my family doesn't like pumpkin stuff. And I was like, really? I love I love
Yeah.
pumpkin pie. I don't
Oh
think
my
David
God,
likes it though.
pumpkin is like my favorite. Of course, obviously, pumpkin spice latte, and
Ugh.
then I used to buy. You used to could buy the syrup from Starbucks, and they stopped allowing that, so that's annoying. But because then I would just make it at my house,
They don't
just
sell the
get
syrup. Do
some
they sell any of
espresso.
the syrups anymore? Or just
So they don't sell the white any like I guess anything that is like a thick syrup, like the pumpkin spice or a white chocolate mocha sauce, anything I guess that are sauces. I guess they consider pumpkin spice like a sauce. They don't sell any of that, but they sell like simple syrups, cane, simple syrups, peppermint syrup. So it's not like I'll buy the peppermint syrup in the winter and like make
oh.
peppermint lattes. Um, but yeah, I love pumpkin season. I mean, everything pumpkin. Like,
Well, in good news, whenever my birthday's over, so my birthday's at the end of May. To me, like once my birthday's over, other than July 4th, I'm like, okay, let's do some Halloween. Like I love I love Halloween Thanksgiving time. Like I tend to like the movies. I like the feel in the air. Um there's just something about it that I just gravitate towards. I'm like, maybe
yeah.
I think I was a pagan in a past life. Like it like speaks to my soul. I don't even know how to explain it. Like um
Um,
so go ahead.
yeah, yeah. I
How
uh,
was
I
your
love
how
I
was your
love the fall.
Saturday? I just realized we didn't really talk much
Oh,
today.
no, it was good. So today, like I said on our show on Friday, we had to go pick up wine. We have like some memberships, and we had to just go pick up wine from like the handful of wineries that we have memberships with. And of course, we don't do any tastings, and we haven't done tastings since like last year. And so that's frustrating, but want to stay healthy. We're not going to chance it. I know there are some people who feel like they can chance it and whatever, but you're taking your mask off to
Nope.
drink wine. So there obviously is a chance. It's all outdoors. They're not doing anything indoors really. So, I mean, there are good precautions and the chances are probably a lot lower, but we don't want to chance it. So we did our pickup shipments and it was funny. I haven't ever gotten out of the car this whole time, so Justin would go get it, bring it to the car. We'll wipe everything down because we wipe everything down still,
Yeah.
and then hand sanitizer and whatever. So I
We're
just don't
just
go
so
in.
close to getting vaccinated. I'm just like, you know what?
Yeah,
What's another month or two? So
yeah, exactly.
that's kind of what we're going with. Um,
So yeah, I went in this time because we had two shipments at one place, and then one place, the girl that always like does the tastings for us, um,
mhm.
every time she's like asks Justin, "Where is he? Where is he?" And she's like, "Oh, he's in the car. He's in the car. He's not gonna come in. He's not gonna come in." And like at the beginning, she was like, "You want to do a tasting?" Because like everything shut down, and then they started being allowed to do it if they had food, if they were selling food. Um, and so you had to buy food to get the wine because they weren't doing tasting. So it was kind of like that's how you got some wine, is you bought food and then you bought wine. And she was like, "Y'all don't want to do it. We have all these new protocols and all like
Like,
the whole thing." And
no.
this is also there's also two wineries actually. And so this one in particular, I decided, okay, I'm gonna go in. I already had to go in to get help with the other
I'm gonna
shipment. So I
do
was like, well,
this.
I already like I'm gonna have to shower and re-clean everything. So I go in and she's not. We don't see her, and I'm like, oh, this is for nothing. And then all of a sudden she runs from a different area and she's like, "Oh my God, you got out of the car." It was so funny because she saw me from somewhere. I didn't see her. She saw me first. And then the other winery, when it first began, she's like the owner's wife, and she kind of helps run things in the tasting room. And she was telling Justin, she was like, "We have all these protocols. I've researched all this. I know all the stuff about COVID and all." It's like she was doing all this research and stuff, and she's like, "We're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this." And he asked her this time, like, are there any protocols you're going to keep in place? And they're going to start doing tasting flights, so you get all your wine at once instead of coming back for your tasting. And then a lot of stuff outdoors. They expanded their outdoor area. But I do have to say, when we were out picking it up, it was crowded. It was like, normally it's crowded anyway for wine tasting there, but it was like it seemed more crowded than normal, which was like a little frustrating, because obviously, like you said, we're like super close to the hopefully the end, and getting somewhat back to normal. Uh,
Yes,
and we don't
it
want
does
any of these
feel like
weird
that.
we don't want any of these weird variants taking hold. And so everyone still needs to be cautious about this. But I think, because I think this weekend was the first time they were allowed to do tastings without people buying food. And so I think people, like, in their head, may have thought that it's been closed, and they saw this and they're like, "Oh, it's back open again." And I think everyone just decided,
Kind of like rushed
um,
it. I
to
think
go.
in the next couple months we're going to see like a huge boom in local spending, which I think is a good
Hmm.
thing, but it's going to go like before it levels out, because there's so many things. Even if every household just did one dinner out that they haven't done in a year and a half, it's going to do so much to boost sales and stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of spending, I saw this article that there's some stupid fucking belief that this stimulus payment will cover most families till July or something like that. I'm like,
Yeah,
they're like,
the 1400
for several
or
families, this
16.
is 200. It'll pay the rent for 7 months, and for some, not even one. I'm like,
I really don't know where they're talking about because
right.
it's really
I live in
nowhere.
a relatively inexpensive area as far as owning a house, and
Well,
that's
like,
about
the
one mortgage
the
payment.
where I used to live, um, it's a smaller area, not a big metropolitan area. The rent was on average about like $1,000 or
When you live in
so. And
Texas,
so, yeah, so like, um, if it was going to be cheap anywhere, it would have been cheaper there, and it was not. So, like, yeah, I don't get what they're the whole thing is about that. And it's also annoying, the whole thing is, if we give people money, they're not going to want to work. Like, what?
right? Like,
They're still going to need to work. They don't have money.
there's always going to be somebody who abuses whatever system or program that exists. But um, I just want to be done with freaking nursing school. I want to be accepted and done with it so I can like go. But oh gosh, like I can't even do any work during nursing school at this point because I would only be able to work part time anyway because you're required to be available, during the week. And so basically during 9 to 5, that's my clinical and classes. I mean, I'm me being present for said clinicals and classes. Most jobs that work nights and weekends are going to be more part time. Even ones that pay better because they're not offering benefits would still be part
Hmm.
time. All those jobs don't exist right now. They've long
Yeah.
been deleted. Those all that shit shut down. So when the world opens back up, those things will come back, which will allow people to start to like need help on nights and weekends. Right now, none
Hmm.
of that exists. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
God, let me just go somewhere and stock shelves or something with headphones in so I just don't have to listen to people.
I love TikTok. Anybody who's been watching us for any small amount of time knows that I love TikTok.
Yes.
And you can go live on TikTok. And it's not necessarily just this app. It's just that I'm going through, and then it happened to come across somebody live. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what's fun about it. It's not like you're tuning into someone live. It's kind of like we're talking about stereo. You just swipe and listen, and you find new people or whatever. So it's not like somebody, you're tuning in especially for somebody. So swiping through, and there's this one guy, he comes on occasionally live, and he lives like in Hawaii, I think. And so the time zone issue works out. And basically, he is doing lives, and he's in the back of a Target, and he's like packing boxes for shipments for people's online orders. And so he's just talking and saying things and what's happening in his day, and talking with people who's chatting with him online and packing. And so I don't know. It's some I can sit there and just watch. I don't know why, but it's also interesting to see what people are getting.
That's really funny. I'm glad you're here. It was really
Um,
weird just like talking to air for 30 minutes. And then when the camera turned on, I was like, wow, Salem is so bored with me talking. He's like gonna shut this down to like shut me up. Like I was like, I'm sorry,
he's
everyone.
gonna
I'm
take
sorry.
control. I know, right? Like if it was a solo show and just talking into the void, and then especially when if like at beginning when no one's here and it's like, well, I'm just with my own thoughts here.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh,
Um,
and I tweeted it, and then I had posted a 10-year ago picture, which I don't know if you've ever seen
yeah,
before. Did you see it?
I don't think I
Yeah.
haven't I have not been on anything.
Yes, it's my most recent tweet. So
Let's check this out. Um, is David still on?
I think so.
He's like, well, I guess I'll listen.
Yeah, or he's got the volume
Uh,
turned down so he doesn't have to hear it.
uh, and then I guess we have some other people on Twitter. So hi. Let's see. Oh, wow. Those arms.
I only weigh about 130 pounds there, so my arms now are bigger than they were then. But
So this is just basically you're like a stick figure,
oh yeah,
and
and
so
I'm
your
also a lot
muscles.
more tan there. I actually
Man,
like had sunshine then.
tan tanning can
Yeah.
do so much for you, but it's not good for you.
No, it's not. Especially like,
You know
I
what
mean,
I
obviously you get some normal sunshine. I mean, you need a little bit of sunshine, geez, but not roasting in it. Like I've been outside a little bit and I'm still like
hmm
just as white.
Uh, yeah, I when I first moved out here, like I mentioned before, like you get sunburned really quickly. Like you can be out for 15 minutes and get a sunburn, whereas in Texas you can sit outside for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and I would not get anything.
Yeah,
And
weirdly,
so
I've never
here,
been sunburned here. Even when I mow the lawn, I rarely, when I'm out in a park or something, I might get a little bit of sun on my back of my neck. But I spray. I have the spray sunscreen. I spray it on my hands and rub it on my neck a couple times. Um, and I'm usually not out for more than 30, 40 minutes at a time. So at most, I might get a little bit of sun, like maybe in the back of my ear, like if I missed a spot or something. But usually, I'm pretty good about rubbing it down the back of my ears and my neck, um, and across my. I get burnt. I can easily. I think I'm a little bit red. Yeah, I have a little bit of redness here. It almost looks like I get like a
um,
flash burn.
when
So
you visit out here, we're gonna have to like slather you down in
we're gonna. It's gonna be so fun.
sunscreen.
We have to do like we want to position the camera like far away so it doesn't get wet, but we have to do like a hot tub like episode or like hello
Oh
hot
my
tubbing
God, that
with
would be
Cody and
so
Matt.
fun. That would be so fun. Yeah, we haven't used it in a while. I need to start using it again. Um, it's kind of an ordeal right now, like even going outside to do work outside because the cats are in here and like I can't put them away easily because they're still separate. And so like I can easily put Ella away, but Salem is where Justin is working. So I can't put him in there. And then so it's just like a juggling act to get outside. Um, but used to I would go in the mornings and hot tub in the mornings for like I don't know, sometimes an hour, and it would just be like that's when I would be online looking at Twitter and Instagram and whatnot, and I would just be in the hot tub doing all that,
I remember
and then get
that.
out and start the day. It's also great because I that's when like I would hurt my shoulder and back. I would be in there
I remember
and
that
helping.
too.
It's I know. Hi, how are you?
Oh, it's
Yeah, so like
Steven.
I do need to get back into the habit of getting in the hot tub. It's here. I need to use it. It's great right now using it late at night because it's kind of cool outside. So it's
That's
like nice and
amazing.
toasty in the water. Um,
The
it's
next
really
place we
nice. It's
move,
so
we just
relaxing.
have to get a hot tub because like the doctors have pretty much told me like I'm gonna kind of have to live with like my body sucking. So the
Yeah.
only relief I usually have is like a hot shower, or I'll go sit in the bathtub. I spend a lot of time in bathtubs. Like when I take a bath, I'm usually in there for 1 to 3 hours. And I will usually drain the tub though completely at one point, and I usually will shower in there too. So part of that is showering, but I will usually drain it part way and refill it with hot water. But instead of letting it fill like flood, I let the drain run down the because that bathroom has like the prefab tub in it. So I just have it pointed at the plastic and then it runs down and slowly fills up because I like the sound
Mm.
of the running water. And if I just have it coming
Hmm.
out of the main faucet, it'll fill up in a minute and a half. So I
Well, then
prefer
you would
to,
love the hot tub.
yeah, I love hot tubs. And
Constant hot water, the sound, the massaging,
yeah,
and
I
it's
like
great.
it's great for aches and pains.
Yes, it is. And I love it like right now also. Right now we have a cover on because it gets really sunny in the area, but you can see the stars at night and it's like I'll just like lay back and like look at the stars and
Well, that's
the
like freaking
water's
beautiful.
going and yeah, it's so nice.
I'm
So
sure I can
lucky.
write something really poetic and inappropriate about that while I'm there. Don't you worry.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll have to do a show in it. That would be fun.
Actually, I
Um,
really think it'd be really fun. And I've got like the cutest little swimmies that I've been dying to wear. Like, um, but it sounds like this year we might actually get to do that. It might happen.
I know. We're
It would have to be
crossing our
before
fingers.
August. But you're only
Yeah,
a
I
2.5 hour flight from me, I think. When I checked the flights when I thought
yeah,
I was going to come
it's
out to you
quick.
last year, it's 2 hours. So I have some stomach issues that
It
happen when I get on planes, so that's not great.
it's
But
definitely a quick jump over here. Yeah, I think well, I'm looking positively. We're gonna do like a whole special uh podcast episode. We were gonna actually talk about it last night. I had it in my schedule of plans for our chat. Like we're trying to like add more news topics to kind of chat about. So there's something to talk about. And I had it scheduled that we were going to talk about this for 2 to 3 minutes, this 2 to 3 minutes. And then like we got stuck a little bit. We were talking about CBD and Martha Stewart for a while. So that we kind of got
yeah,
sidetracked on that. And then we also got sidetracked on the whole like makeup for men and like men's products, having men products for lotion, even though it's the same as women's products. But yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna do a
that was
special
actually a fascinating conversation. Kai is
on
on, or as I know
COVID.
him, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say we're gonna do a special on COVID, and so like I think I'm looking at it very positively that like I think we're on the right track. If if everyone can just hold on just a little bit
We're almost
more and
there.
behave a little
It feels
bit,
like it's like home stretch. Um,
yeah, I'm gonna feel a lot more relieved when I have my vaccine, for sure, because
which
like we
I
literally do
actually
not
talked about
do
that a little
anything.
earlier,
Yeah.
like before you got on. Uh, and so it was very much a, my so when I was in the medical assistant yesterday asked me if I was going to get the vaccine. I said yes, and she asked if I how I felt about the Johnson & Johnson one. I'm like, that's fine. Yeah. And she goes, well, and she didn't know what the study said, so we were talking about it. I'm like, but it made me think of you because I was like, well, I hope he does well with that, you know.
Gabe was actually asking me the other day because, well, y'all both know me. And so, like, it's like, well, if you get the vaccine, what are you going to feel safe doing? Because you could get the vaccine and still not feel safe doing things, because, well, I guess essentially, it seems that all three of these vaccines will prevent you from getting seriously ill or hospitalizations. It's pretty much across the board. That's what happens. Obviously, there's chances that you can still get the virus and still end up having having issues and symptoms, but nothing that is like severe or obviously death, especially, or hospitalizations, which is great.
Right.
So I was like, I think I will feel comfortable. Like right now, we limit going to stores unless we have to. We still do like pickup and delivery and stuff. So I'll feel a bit more comfortable about going out more often or staying in a store longer. Lots of times we go in and go out. Well, obviously, I'll feel fine going to the beach and whatnot. I think I'll just have a little bit more relaxed feeling overall. I
I think
probably
we
won't worry about showering as much. Like really, like we get home from something, I have to rinse off head to
oh,
toe. And so
I
like
don't do
we
that.
go get we go get burritos on Friday night. And then once we get back, because I'm the one that goes in. So once we get back, they sit,
And you
I
shower?
shower, and then we come back and microwave the food. If we if we get pickup or delivery, we toast it or microwave it again. Um, yeah, we
Yeah, I don't do any of that. Okay, I don't take
we
it that
take
far.
things to a different level. So I'll be able to end all of that thing, or like
Oh,
wiping down mail. I do that. Wiping down groceries.
oh God. Yeah, no, no, I don't do that. I do. I mean,
So
I'm pretty used to
I'll feel
washing my hands
relaxed.
from working in environments that, from working in restaurants and then urgent cares. Washing and sanitizing your hands it's really second nature. And David worked in the food industry for a long time, and so we're used to washing our hands after we touch stuff anyway. Like we have cats, so you brush the cat, play with the cat, change the litter. You wash your hands after these things, so it really wasn't that different to wash your hands just a few extra times. Um, so we stopped wiping down groceries, and then that other study that came out that that wasn't really the problem. That wasn't really doing much for people, but it was I depending on where we went, I usually won't shower. Now we went out to the park the other day, and granted, we might only pass 3 or 4 people, and we're not talking to any of them. Like we just pass by them, and we wear our masks if we're near people. If we see them coming,
Hmm.
we'll put our masks on until we walk past, and that I will shower from. One, because I'm disgusting when I get home, and two, I have been out and about. Even though I'm not
You know,
interacting.
we walk pretty much every evening. And so, like here, masks are mandatory if you're in public spaces. So, even like walking on the street, obviously. And so, like, you don't have to wear it. Well, I don't know exactly the rules concerning it, but we don't wear it unless there's people, we start seeing people come our way, and then we'll put our mask on, and they'll put their mask on as well. But I will tell you, it's so funny because there's a lot of people out walking, and a lot of people walking their dogs, and a lot of people just walking in general, exercising, because it's so lovely and nice out. But it's so funny sometimes because sometimes there'll be a lot of people, and like you'll just see like we're walking on this side of the sidewalk and this street, and then it's like someone's coming, so people are just like cordial even though they're putting masks on, and they'll walk across the street and get on this sidewalk, and but sometimes there's so many people, it's like people are zigzagging on the street to get on different sides of the sidewalk. It is so interesting, to see that at least in this area, people, we're wearing our mask, but we're also um, giving people the space. You can come up. You want to get up here? Come on,
Yeah, we
come here.
don't. We still wear a mask everywhere, but we also still don't really go anywhere. So that's kind of been its own challenge. So,
Hmm.
like, well, I guess we're kind of stuck. I'm hoping we get. Hi, Ella. I'm hoping that we get to vaccinate in the next month or so. Because then from
I
whichever shot we
know.
get, wait 3 or 4 weeks in between vaccinations if it's not the Johnson & Johnson shot, and then 3 or 4 weeks after the whatever is going to be the last shot before you're clear. And I'm like, well, someday. But
Yeah, I worry out here it's gonna be a little bit. I feel like it's gonna be like probably before end of April, early May before we even have the ability to. Obviously, Biden has announced that he wants everyone to have basically be able to get it by May 1st, but that doesn't mean there's going to be the amount of vaccine available. It just means you'll be, I guess, allowed essentially. But we're moving pretty quickly. I
I
was
saw that.
talking to
Like
Justin about.
4.5 million shots were given out
Yeah.
yesterday.
I was telling Justin that it's crazy because we were so far behind when this all happened and whatnot, and then locking down, and that's been a whole chore itself and whatever. But here we are coming out with a vaccine, and we're going quick. And really, I think aside from us, obviously you have people. Ooh, that's not my wind down. Obviously, you have countries that that are doing great, like Australia, New Zealand. We've seen pictures of them all out partying, no mask and whatnot.
They're having a great time.
But countries that obviously those it's a little easier because they can completely lock down the country and whatever. Europe's a little bit harder, but I thought it was interesting that like we now are basically leading the vaccines, out of everywhere. England is doing really well, but the European Union is just a mess apparently.
I've been seeing it, and I mean, I have no criticisms of it in that sense because I see what we're like here, and I'm like, we've all got problems on our front porches to deal with,
I saw some people in Italy were talking about that they were the first to lock down. They were the first big country that got a lot of publicity about having to lock down. They're like, we were the first to lock down, and we're probably going to be the last to be able to get out of lockdown. But yeah, I thankfully, the vaccines are going great here in America because that's what we needed. Oh, goodness. It also helps that a lot of these companies are here in America, and with the Production Act, they can basically be forced to be like, hey, those vaccines are going to have to stay here.
You got to help. Well, we're such a huge population. I mean, there's just a absolute shit ton of people that live here, and we have really population dense cities, like NYC, DC, Baltimore, San Diego. It's like 2 or 3 cities in one or 2 cities in a state can be more than the rest of the surrounding 5 states combined in just 1 or 2 cities, and it's really difficult to get people to really comprehend how many people that is, in one spot. And even if every single one of them wants the vaccination, and even if every single vaccination is available to give to them right then, you still need just as many people to sit there and give them a shot, wait a few minutes, give the next one and the next one, because inevitably, even a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent that has a reaction needs to be cared for, and investigated, because we need to know, is there something, because it can be something that's avoided.
I was going to look up something. Oh yeah. So thinking of population is so interesting to me. So like the town that I grew up in, basically the majority of the town could fit inside of AT&T Stadium. It's where the Dallas Cowboys play in Dallas. Obviously there's a few, like about 50,000, I think, that wouldn't, but the good majority of the city would fit inside of AT&T Stadium. And it's crazy to think about that. And it's like a medium to moderate size city, but you have a lot of these cities like that that could fit in these stadiums. This one little building, a whole cities can fit in. And so it is interesting to think about that. If you live like in a major metropolitan area, Chicago, Dallas, San Francisco, LA, et cetera, Atlanta, Miami, Orlando, you don't really realize it. Outside of those cities are relatively small in comparison, and it's just crazy to think of.
And the surrounding areas that are technically part of the city, but not really maybe developed, it might be, it might look populated, but reality, it's work environments. So yeah, it might always look busy, but it's actually people working there. they just don't count as far as a population that needs some kind of medical care, or in this case, a vaccination. So, but here in San Antonio, my doctors don't even have the vaccine yet, and I got a text alert that they had appointments open all week, but I don't know if I qualify as eligible. So, because I don't have a formal diagnosis, my doctor says, he's like, okay, you definitely have an autoimmune issue here. Like, we just don't know which one. I'm like, okay, so does that qualify me to go get vaccinated?
Right.
Because
We
autoimmune diseases are on the list.
We were at Costco today on the way back, and they have a pharmacy and everything there, and they had COVID vaccines, and there was people waiting, and it's like, oh my God, just give it to me now.
Right.
I had a friend in Orlando who's been wanting the vaccine. He's kind of like me. I feel been just extra cautious, and he was having to go out to work at a theme park, and so just gets worried and anxious about it. But he has been researching information and like going to pharmacies and whatever and getting names on lists, because they want to use all the vaccine that day because it'll go bad if
Right.
it's not the
Even if
Moderna
10
and
people get
Pfizer.
it that weren't supposed to get it, it's better than 10 wasted vaccines.
And so he had been doing this, and he finally got it this week, and he was so excited. And I was like, it's like I mean, it's frustrating that people are having to do that. There's nothing we can do about it because there is a finite amount of vaccine you can make in a period of time. Like you just can't produce it fast enough, and it sucks. But yeah, if you're wanting to, pretty much anywhere, you can kind of stake out these pharmacies. I know it's happening a lot in New York City. They'll be like people like our age will just be like hanging out around a pharmacy around closing time, and there's like a phrase for it. I can't even think of the phrase right now, but there's a good chance that like five people or less probably can get it each day just because people don't show up or they cancel or whatever, just natural things that happen. And so there's, the handful of vaccines
I was actually going to ask
a
about
lot
it.
of the
I'm supposed to
times.
pick up my meds in a couple days because I now don't have insurance until God knows when. The doctor is giving me enough of all my meds for 6 months, all the way to September. And he's like, just call me if you have a problem. But other than that, just you'll have to come. He's like, you got to come back in September, so you have to pay for that visit. But it's to minimize my checkups since I have to pay for all of them, and just kind of hope I don't have an emergency in between then. But I was like, well, I'm gonna pick them up. I'm gonna ask, like, do you guys have any available? Like, because I mean, I'm on a blood pressure medication, and high blood pressure is one of the well, I don't know if it's 1B is the same in all the states, but high blood pressure was one of the risk factors, and I have high blood pressure and an autoimmune disease. So I'm like, well, should I go get it? And then it made me. Then David and I were talking about. He brought it up to me. It's like, well, like somebody that's like a doctor, but their spouse is, not. It's like a work at home phone rep. Well, one of them's high risk and the other isn't. So does that mean? Does the rest of the family have to be vaccinated for it to really make a difference? Because although, say, the doctor person, whichever person that is vaccinated, they can still carry it home to their spouse and children at home. So, well, so if one's vaccinated, does the spouse go get vaccinated? So I was just going to ask them, well, actually, I could probably just see if I can register online because they fill my meds. They have my medical records. They can see that I'm on a blood pressure med.
Yeah, for sure.
I kind of forgot about the blood pressure thing till just now, actually.
Anything can hurt. I know a lot of places, for those who are watching this now or watching the replay, you can go to these pharmacies sometimes and sign up, and you're on a list, and then, each evening they'll call. And a lot of times it's like you have 30 minutes to get here, an hour to get here. Because it is around the closing time for those particular pharmacies. I know out here in Southern California, we have a lot of CVS pharmacies in Targets, and so they're going to start getting the vaccine as well. So it's just going to, once this Johnson & Johnson one gets out there, although they're having some slow production issues right now. But once that starts ramping up, I think it's going to help a lot, and especially in those areas that aren't metropolitan, because then these pharmacies, that don't have super, super extreme cold storage for like the Pfizer or whatever, we'll be able to have this, because there's a lot of these like smaller towns that like the pharmacy is not that big. It's not even a CVS pharmacy. It's not even like a big
Yeah.
name brand pharmacy, and they just don't have it. And there's not a need for it necessarily a lot of times. So the Johnson Johnson one, I think is going to be a good thing. But
I
yeah,
think especially for rural areas where it's hard to just get people to take it, kind of a one and done is probably a lot better of a process. I mean, that's ideally that would be the best for everybody, but
yeah. Like Gay was saying, he would prefer the Johnson and Johnson because it's one shot because he does not like needles. We went to get the flu shot this year, and it was a drive-through flu shot thing, which I loved because like thank God I don't have to get out. And so they came to the car, and gave us the shot, and like he was like, "Oh my God, I did not like that."
I mean, nobody likes needles. Drug addicts don't even like needles. I don't know what. I mean, if you've stubbed your toe or ever had a toothache, that's 100 times more painful than any shot you can ever get, unless it's a cortisone shot with no anesthetic. Cortisone shots will.
Well, and the shots are pretty quick. You have a toothache that's going to continue on and on and on and on and on and on. You've gotten a lot of vaccines, but like I had to get like I'm sure you remember this because I was probably messaging you, but there was a point in time where I ended up having to get the tetanus shot because I couldn't remember when was the last time I had my tetanus shot, and I was like, oh my God, I think I got rust in my eye. And so I went, and then there was a big issue out here in Southern California, outbreak of hepatitis, and I couldn't. Well, I'd never finished the hepatitis vaccines. I'd gotten the first one, and then you have to get 3 total.
Yes.
And I'd only got the first one when I was like in high school, and then I never got them again. And so I was like, well, I need this one. And it was like, there was a pretty big outbreak. And so, I was like, well, I need to go ahead and get this vaccine. So I went and got that one. And so there for a period of time, I was getting all these vaccines
because
updating.
All mine were so old. I just wish they had told me that the Tdap was going to make me feel so bad. None of them really hurt. Only one of the Hep A/B. So I got the Hep A/B combo where you get them in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 2 in one, literally in the same injection. But one of the I was at a different CVS because mine was out of it, so we had to go down the street to the other one. I didn't really think anything of it. And the lady is like just talking to me and David. We're sitting there in the room, and she like harpooned me in the arm, like in the back of my arm, and I was like, shh. And I didn't say anything. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't move. Like, I was a good boy. And David's eyes are like this big, like, damn. So we got my stuff and we got in the car, and I was like, shit, that hurts. Like, oh my God. Because she just stuck it, just like ran that thing in there. And I'm like, ow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready to get it because then, maybe I'll get to come to Texas. I haven't seen my family since like 2019, July of 2019.
You were in
and there's
Texas
a lot that's
sometime
happened.
at the time we were friends, but you were like, oh, I'm here at home, and I'm like, but you weren't going to be there very long, and we weren't close enough yet where it would have been like, I think, had you asked me to come visit, I would have. David and I probably would have been like, you know what, let's get the hell out of here for the weekend and just see a new city in Texas. Yay. But at that point, I think if it would have just been a little stalkerish to be like, hey, oh, where are you at? Tap, 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 tap.
Yeah, so I'm ready to get back and visit and stuff because obviously a lot's happened. My grandmother passed away, and so I wasn't able to be there. And so like there's a lot, like my nieces and nephews are like so big now, and I haven't seen them. We only get to talk on FaceTime and whatever. So there's a lot that
just
unfortunately
things you
has
want to
happened.
see.
Yeah, and then I just want to be able to like obviously
not be at
for
home
Gabe,
for 5 minutes.
I know, right? Hopefully, Gabe will be able to get back out on a tour, or any kind of theater starting to happen again. Hopefully, that'll happen. But like before that happens, hopefully, we'll get the vaccine and we'll feel comfortable enough and be able to go out and like we can enjoy hanging out with him like outside of the house. Like we can
Right.
go to a restaurant or like There's like a
What are
restaurant we want to
these
take him to
restaurants
downtown and like
you speak of? What do you call them? Feet? Like that kind of attitude.
yeah.
This is,
So
Cody, I was just thinking, this has been the quietest, like live we've ever done.
I know, like, is
Oh my
everybody
gosh.
asleep?
I was saying earlier on that when nobody said anything, I was like, maybe we are going to have to move back to Sunday nights, because the Sunday night ones we did, everyone was like awake.
Oh my God, the Sunday night one I think is like our most watched one actually. We have to try it tomorrow or something.
So do you want to do a short one tomorrow night and see like how it works for everybody, or you just want to say, okay, we're good, and then next Sunday?
No, yeah, we can do it tomorrow.
Do you want to do maybe like 10? Like
You're
10 to
here.
11?
I know you're here.
What's up?
You're 10 your time.
Yeah. Did we freeze? Oh, we're good.
No.
Okay.
I think he's just saying that he's here right now. Because we're talking about no one's here.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll have to do something tomorrow. I think like I can probably do it like 8:45 my time.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe everyone is preparing because daylight savings time happens.
Yeah, that's right. Spring forward,
But
fall
I don't
back.
know. I don't think people really I don't think people prepare for that. So I
Don't
don't,
we lose an
everyone
hour of
just must
sleep?
be,
No, we gain an
yes,
hour.
you're gonna lose an hour.
Spring
Because
forward.
technically it's 11:20 my time. So it's like 1:20 your time,
It's
technically.
12:20 my time.
So it's 1:20, technically.
Well, not
Because you'll be
anymore.
springing forward. Spring forward. That's the thing,
There's a
daylight savings time is a whole conversation. People want to get rid of daylight savings time. We have
yes,
someone
because
else
it's
joining us.
stupid.
Hey, I think everybody who's here. Matt started off the show earlier by himself. I had to like
Yeah.
finish up.
Just like
We were
hung
running
out.
late on getting everything started today, and then we were having like wine and cheese and bread
Sounds
and
so good. I
honeycomb, and
don't
it
think
was
I'm
so
gonna be able to
good.
like drink again, I swear, because the doctor, I didn't even bother asking. And he's like, so you're gonna
Yeah,
stay on this blood pressure med? And I'm like, fuck me. And then I don't want to be on it. Like I'm like, I'll do the ADHD
yeah,
meds because I need them, but I don't want to be on the blood pressure med. And my blood pressure is actually fine now. It's like back in control. It was like 115. I was like, damn, go me.
hmm
But then my heart rate was like, well, it was at 99, but it's staying at 99 for no reason. I was like, come on. He's like, yeah, you just need to exercise more for a few months. And I'm like, I don't want to. So,
right.
but, well, I don't really have anything else, honestly. And I don't know if anybody
Well,
wants to jump in and say anything or.
you did want to talk about this particular story, the fact that they are going to send sperm and egg to the moon. Would you want to participate in this endeavor? It's for science. I have to check something, but I can still hear you. It's for science.
Oh, it's also apparently sweatpants season
It is.
because Cody's wearing gray sweatpants. I have a pair in the mail. I got a pair of gray joggers that should be here sometime early this week from H&M. I don't know if they're going to fit, so I ordered a few things to see how their clothes fit me. I used to have some of their clothes, but I have basically run out of clothes. And over the last year, as I've worn more and more things out, I'm just like, oh, well, let me just, donate this, toss that. And then it's like, I'll just buy, clothes when I can go to the stores again and try some stuff on. Because, I don't have a job right now, so I don't really want to spend a lot of money on clothes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of at the point where if I did go back to a job, I am not really prepared to wear regular clothes that are casual and like appropriate. There's not anything wrong with any of the specific shirts, but you're gonna dress in a different way when you show up for work. I'm not gonna show up with a Captain America shirt at my job. Hence what I'm wearing now.
Yeah, So Hawaii doesn't participate in daylight
That is
savings time. What
correct.
time is it? What time is it in Hawaii right now?
It's 8:24 there, I think. So
I think that's right.
Steven and I, we do daily text messages, and I usually hear from him about 11 o'clock my time because he wakes up around 7 something. So, and then sometimes of the year he's 5 hours behind. So we go back and forth between 4 and 5 hours behind, and that dictates a lot of our conversation. So much like you, when you text me and it's like 1 a.m. your time, he texts me and it's sometimes 5 a.m. or I'll weirdly have woken up and seen his text, even though my phone is on silent and has been for about 5 years. Actually, probably closer to 10. Now, I don't even have the little ticks like when you text. I've had all that turned off since like 2012. And yeah, he'll text me and we talk about random stuff at 4 a.m. my time sometimes.
Yeah, daylight savings time doesn't really bother me. I don't have an issue. I've never
I
really
just
had
think it's
issues.
stupid.
Like
I just think it's dumb and
there
a waste of time.
there actually is like, some people talk about you if you're if you're on the Eastern time zone, but you're very close to the Central time zone as far as location. The time that like sunsets sometimes is like super early or sunrise is super late. And like here in the winter, it can be like 5 o'clock and it's dark. But in Texas, it would be like 6 o'clock before it's dark in the winter. And so like it does depend a lot on where you live on how much the actual time difference affects you. And so like being on daylight savings time or not can be either a really big thing, honestly, because if you weren't on it, the amount of daylight you're going to have is going to be dramatically changed for the better. So it's a whole interesting. We'll see what happens. I think they're going to try to put some bills forward to adjust that.
I just think it's
We'll see. We'll see
just
what
needs to
comes of it.
go. There's no point in it. So just one more thing we don't really need to worry about at all. And also, I mean, it is 20. We are like in 2021. It doesn't do anything for anybody. Just get rid of it. And parts of the country don't participate as well. I think parts of Arizona don't participate. So
Yeah.
it would just be nice
I
to
don't
just.
know what. Yeah, I don't know what time period. I guess we're not on daylight savings time right now. It gets so confusing on what it actually means. I wish the time would stay how it is now. I like that it gets dark early. Now I know I'm in the minority of that because I mean a lot of people, especially out here, like want that extra hour of sun to do the beach and whatnot.
Well, especially if you
But
work
I'm
a
okay
normal
with
day
it.
job, you can end up going to work in the
Yeah,
dark
that's
and
true.
coming home in the dark, and it's really not healthy. We were not meant for that, like, and so it just
Yeah,
destroys.
that's how it used to be with Justin. Like he would leave and then he would get home. And at that point in time there was traffic, so you sit in an hour and a half of
Oh,
traffic to get home. And so you would get home, it was dark. So you get home, you can't do anything outside or whatever. It's like feels like you have to go to bed again. So yeah, I do know that like uh it would be helpful overall for even people's health and mental health and just everything because first of all, mental health would be great and their health would be great because they'd probably get to go out and walk and do everything. So I think there's a lot of benefits actually to something like that.
yeah,
Um, there was
there
something that
is
was happening and then
there is something happening, and it's again in the movie world that we recently talked about Mortal Kombat, but Resident
mhm.
Evil is being rebooted properly to follow the game universe, and I'm
Mm.
so excited about it. I'm so excited about it. Oh, excuse me. Oh my gosh. Let's see.
I think I thought there was something that happened today that I was going to bring up in conversation.
Let's see.
I feel like it's been a quiet day today overall. Even online,
Yeah,
people
it's
have been
been
a little bit.
It was
been a
really
little
quiet. I
bit
was watching
quiet.
the timeline, and it was very quiet there, and um, I was kind of just laying on the couch, so it was just a very. I mean, we binge watched a whole season of American Horror Story, but it was more so
Yeah,
background noise.
which season did y'all watch?
1984 because it was most recent on the
Mm.
list, and it was background noise since we've seen it. So it was like that
Mm-hmm.
was the background noise for the day. So yeah, you kind of tune in, watch a half hour of it, and then zone back out or whatever we're doing. But all my stuff was dead, and it was taking hours to charge. And then it was like, oh, well, it's time to eat again. And I was like, oh crap. But
Yeah.
and then
Ella, do you want to
you
come
missed
say
it
hi?
earlier. So I ordered Starbucks today. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't care if it gets delayed or whatever. That delays and stuff don't bother me. I mean, everybody's busy,
Mm-hmm.
things are crazy. So it gets here like an hour late, and I had ordered and I don't want to hear your judgments, a Trenta cold brew, and a tall showed up. I was like,
Oh
and I
no.
got charged for the Trenta, and I was like, ugh.
Mm.
So I did
That's frustrating.
so yeah, like the only part I care about is that I got charged for it because my drink was still delicious. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then yesterday there was I think I mentioned it yesterday. I was in the store and it was a fail. Uh, I got I got my drink, and as I was walking out, the other person, there was two people working, and I know both of them very well, and one was like, "Oh my god, she made his drink wrong," like, and the other lady realized she had made it without soy because I'm lactose, and it will make me sick. So she
Mm-hmm.
goes, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." So the drink usually comes with, it's the cold brew, and they put a little bit of water in it to like dilute it a little bit, and then it's got its ice, a splash of soy milk. I asked for a couple of pumps of vanilla, and I don't even want the cold foam. I don't even care about it. It tastes good. It's fine, but I don't. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All that was in it was some of the cold foam and uh, the cold brew. When she remade it, because she forgot she made it
Yeah.
with regular. So instead of remaking it and putting soy in all three things plus the pumps of vanilla, all it got was this cold brew and uh, soy cold foam, no vanilla, no creamer in it, and anything, and it was bitter as I had to drink some of it to get it down. So when I got home, I just poured creamer in it. Like we have like the Italian sweet
Mm-hmm.
creamer.
Yeah.
So, but David said
They're
we need
good.
to pour some of it out or drink some of it to make room. And I didn't want to pour it out because then the ratios start getting all fucked up. And so it's like, okay, fine. So I just kind of bit the bullet and took three big gulps, like gulps. And I was like, okay, I'm okay. Fill with creamer, mix it up. Okay. And it tasted different, but fine. Sir, I could have set records running marathons yesterday. Like
Could
my
you have?
energy level was like here. And I knew it was from that because it was so much. And I'm like, oh God. I was like, I'm not
Um,
okay.
we have so much cold brew coffee still in our refrigerator
I need
because
to learn
I
how to
had
just
made it.
make it. I don't know how to make it.
Oh my God. Yeah, you do. So I have a YouTube video that's going to be coming out,
Oh, can you send
where
me?
I tell you how to make it and what products you need, and it's
Have you?
super simple because you do it the night before. It sits for 12 hours. So
Do you make it
while
like a
you're sleeping,
pitcher?
so it's like in a carafe. So you
Okay,
like
so
make,
more than just like a cup
about that
full.
much.
Okay, because
Oh,
all the
for
fucking
sure.
recipes
So
I find are all like, oh, make one cup, make yourself a cup of cold brew, but you have to do this, 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 and this, and this. And I'm like, okay,
no,
how do I make
this will
a
make,
carafe or a pitcher of cold brew? And is
yeah.
that video
I think
available
this
yet
is,
by chance?
I think this is like, ooh, I think it's like 4 cups of concentrate. And so it's enough for me and Justin for like pretty much a full week, usually is what it would be. And so you do like half that and half water because it's a concentrate. And then you're good to go. But I like it because the acidity in it is down. It doesn't hurt your stomach as much. Um, But yeah, we have so much of it now because I made it, and then we got the espresso machine, and then we've been using the espresso machine. And oh my God, yesterday I had a coffee during our show. Justin had made me a coffee, and it was so good. And then I had another one today. I've been having one every day now. Like we're obsessed with
same.
it. We had an espresso machine, and so we still have Nespresso pods, but we just haven't been using it because we've been using the espresso machine now. So like I think we're gonna try to give it away, the Nespresso machine and the Nespresso pods away, because whatever. And then the cold brew, I think we're gonna have to just toss out because we're just obsessed with the espresso machine now, and it does such a good job. We finally got it tuned in. Like we were delayed 2 weeks ago or last week, 2 weeks ago, I think, because we were having to dial in the exact, because your the beans can be ground at different levels, so it can be a harsher grind, and then
That
the
matters.
water can, yeah. So like there's three
I'm
things
so
that matter.
uncultured.
So
I'm sorry.
so how much coffee beans that you use. So if you use 18 ounces of coffee beans at a grind of 6, and then the water comes out for 30 seconds, might give you a certain amount of weight in liquid, and it has to be around, I think, like 30 grams of liquid after 30 seconds or something. And so all of those things affect that. And so we were having to dial in one thing at a time to figure that out, and we wasted a lot of coffee figuring that out, because like sometimes no water would come out, sometimes too much water would come out. And it really is the grind of the bean, and there's those 3 steps: the grind, how much coffee bean you actually use, and then how much time you allow water to go through. But once you do, it's delicious, and you don't have to reset it, unless you get a different coffee bean. That's the other thing. Different coffee beans require you to do different levels of this.
See,
So if
that
you
I
had it dialed
understand,
in,
but I didn't realize it was that touchy. But obviously, our espresso machine is a pretty basic one. You put in the one that you want, set the setting, and it gives you a recipe book where you can mix the stuff. And it has the foaming wand on it, so you can make yourself a cute little espresso machine. And we have the cutest espresso, it's like this little wrought iron tower, and it has the bottom part is a base of little espresso plates, and it has its matching cups that are just stacked, and you can just and they slide down, and it's so cute. However, I am no barista, and I do not have talent apparently for this. And people are like, get a job at Starbucks while you're in college. I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea.
like Justin used to actually work at a Starbucks when he was in college, and so he like loved it. He like loved making us espresso drinks and whatever.
Justin did,
and so
that's
so
so
he's
cute.
enjoyed making his own espresso again, and but he can't do what is it called, like the foam art.
Yeah.
Where some baristas can, because Starbucks doesn't do that. But like I want to kind of learn now. I need to like figure out, but I don't foam my milk because I make iced espresso drinks, so I don't need to steam my milk.
I am just
But he makes cappuccinos.
I just don't know how to make the cold brew. I just want to make the cold brew the way I want it, and if I could do that, I'd be
Okay,
very
I'm gonna
happy.
finish up the video, and I'll post it hopefully this week. There's someone else, one of my friends in Orlando was wanting to know about the cold brew situation and how to make it and what he needed. And it's like this, that brand, I don't even know how they say it, but it's like OXO, I guess. And they have those nice like containers that you can store sugar and flour in, that I like have bought a ton of. They, I believe, are the ones who make this carafe and the whole setup. So because basically you have the brew container, and you have your beans in there, and you fill it up with water, that sits. And then they have the little thing, it's like a little contraption that it sits on. The carafe goes underneath that contraption, and once you do, it like triggers a button. And then the cold brew drips into your carafe, and then you're set. And then the lid is a measuring cup. So you do like, I think half of the top of the cup with the cold brew concentrate, and then you fill it the other half up with water. So then you're having a consistent drink. But it's so good. It's so good until this Nespresso machine, or not Nespresso. I preferred cold brew to Nespresso. I love cold brew compared to the Nespresso
Yeah, I
pods.
definitely, once I learned, so I usually get a salted caramel cold brew, and then I have figured out, depending on what size, you can add a pump or two of vanilla to it, and it just cuts the edge of the bitterness, and it's perfect. And I'm like, I need to start making this at home because I'm spending way too much money on this.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, like working with the amount of coffee beans, the different grinds, and how much water is able to go through affects for the espresso machine affects the bitterness. So it can be kind of be sour sometimes or whatever. And so all of those changing those levels changes the taste of the
Ugh.
espresso. And but we've gotten it in good now. So like we're gonna try a different coffee bean, I think, next time, like a lighter roast. But oh my God, like if you were here, I'd be making y'all drinks all the time.
Ugh.
I don't just make cocktails.
Well, that's
We
good
have
because
so much.
I'm so sad because I just don't think I'm gonna really be able to drink hardly at all. Like I just don't know, and I don't even really drink that much. I hardly ever. But I just don't think it's gonna be a possibility. So, um, I told David, I was like, we're gonna do another live tomorrow to see if maybe Sundays work better for everybody. He's like, try showing some skin. I was like,
Take it off. Yeah, I have so much. We have so many different like mixers for alcohol, and then we also have so many syrups for different coffees. Like I have hazelnut, I have white chocolate, I have I don't even know now. There's so many butterscotch, regular chocolate. Like literally, we could just open up a bar and we could open up a bar to serve liquor and wine, and a coffee shop to serve all of our drinks because we have a lot of all of it. So
we have
we
like
have
a
options.
coffee
We have
cart.
options.
We literally have like a drink cart that has like a normal coffee pot, an electric kettle, 2 French presses are on a shelf below because we had 2 because there's 2 of us and cleaning one every single day when one might be in the dishwasher. And then the espresso machine is on there too. And there's a box that has the teas in it. And then the pull-out drawers have the different coffees and teas that we have because variety, for all the friends we don't have and all the company we don't entertain. And I would like to say that that's due to COVID, but it's not. That's actually what life is like normally. When I tell people we don't really have friends, that we have like one friend. Well, like Keith, who joined us the other night, he's like our one friend. Pre-COVID, nobody still came over. Like we just really, like, no, we've met mutuals. We've had mutuals over and stuff like that, but.
Right. I mean, that's really, I mean, I guess we'll talk about that when we do our COVID episode. Like, for us, like, not a lot has changed.
Right. I mean, there's mutuals I wanted to hang out with, and it's impacted like our travel plans. And a lot of the impact to us is more so because our friends and, our virtual friends and our works and things and projects that we would be involved in, they're so heavily impacted. It's like the ripple effect. They're where the rock hit, we're over where the water is just kind of doing this. So we're just kind of stuck. It kind of just put us in limbo. But as far as socially,
yeah, we were watching today. We had gotten some food, and so while we were eating it in the car when we were coming back, we were watching Architectural Digest does this thing where they go to celebrities' homes and the celebrities show off their houses, and we were watching one, and their house is amazing and lovely and so cute. It's not overboard in any way. It's the perfect size house. It's nothing crazy. And I was like, oh my God, I want that house. And Justin loved everything about it too. But one of the things that he loved that is so cute. So we have a currently a typewriter by the door. So anytime we have friends over or guests over, they type their name and just like a little sentence about what they did while they were hanging out, or like some story or something. So when they're leaving, they do that. But this celebrity couple, they had a time clock, like an old-timey time clock, but not one of the newer ones like from our time period, you know. It was like had like a big clock, and like it was like really big. And then they had time cards for each of their friends. So when their friends come over, they put the time card in, and it timestamps the date that they were there, and then they
Oh,
have
that's
all like
neat.
all of their friends.
Oh,
And
that's really
he wants to
cute.
do that, so we have to find that. But then I was like, well, no one's gonna clock in for us.
And it'll only be exciting like the first time I do it, because once I travel, it's like once you travel somewhere once, you're more comfortable. So it becomes more normal. And then, especially with doing the projects, because ideally, and both of us would like to be able to work from home, from each other's homes
Mm-hmm.
together, because we could avoid so many of our tech issues. I would love to do it news style, where we have some dramatic background, and
I know, like a green screen.
yeah, and we could also do that. We could do like the naked news, where it's like it's getting a little hot outside.
Have you seen that show that's on in Europe? I can't think of the name, but so like it would be like four contestants. So four guys in these like pods, and then their contestant, that's kind of the contestant of the show is with the host, and the screens raise, and you see everyone's feet, all four people's feet, and then the contestant asks each person a question, and then the screen just keeps rising, and basically, the people are naked, and so then it rises, and you just see their penis, and you're asking questions, and then ultimately, I can't. It goes all the way up, I think, until you can't see their face, maybe, and then you have to choose. But maybe you get to see their face. I can't remember. Um, I'll have to send you clips.
I
It is a great show, and
that
so it's for I think women do it. So like lesbians, gay people, straight people. So you might have a guy choosing girls or a girl choosing the guy. Equal opportunity. It is. I love the show. Let me see if I can get the name of. Uh, Let me just search naked show in Britain.
I was gonna say, this sounds very European.
It's called Naked Attraction. So this is what they say. A clothed person is faced with six naked people who are initially hidden in booths. Their bodies and face are gradually revealed through successive rounds from the feet up. At each round, the chooser eliminates one naked person, and until there's only two left. So you might get thrown out because you don't have a great looking penis. The chooser then decides which person they wish to go out with, and the two, or occasionally three, then go on a fully clothed date.
That is
But
really.
it's such a fun show.
Oh my god.
Um, so it's in England, and then Germany, Denmark, Italy, Finland, and Poland also have their own versions of the show. So there's a lot of options to watch, but it's a funny show. It's very entertaining. I can just sit there and be like, okay, which would you
Right. I
choose?
could
I would
see.
choose that one.
It's
Matt,
funny.
maybe our future. Maybe we'll have to have uh, become a cast American gay version.
I'm telling you, Coma fans would be probably quite a success.
I mean, oh my God, so my little girl, this is what she does.
Oh yeah, she like buries her face in the couch. That's how I
Yeah.
sleep. If I sleep on the couch, I sleep that way too. I sleep facing the corner of the like the inside of the couch, and I lay on my side with a pillow here, and then I put another pillow and blanket here, so I can kind of hold on to it, so I'm kind of suspended a little bit, and then I am out. That I will fall asleep in a minute. I need no help.
She
It's a
always,
miracle.
this is like her spot. She'll either like lay on us, like lay on my lap and fall asleep for a bit, or she goes to her spot. a lot of times she'll come lay on me for a bit, and then she's like, okay, I'm done. And then she comes and lays in this exact spot.
I'm out.
It's like her little thing, and it makes her so happy and so comfortable. And it's like the cutest thing. I
Well,
actually had this photo of her the other day. It was so cute. Like, she was just posing for me.
she's such a little model cat. She's really pretty.
She loves to model. Man, it really is quiet tonight. My goodness.
Right, everybody's so
like
quiet.
is everyone
was-
partying and we didn't get the invite?
Yeah. Right. Well, I don't know. So I went and looked at the crowd meter for Planet Fitness because I can see it, and it says it's at 1. That's the lowest I've seen it at any time I've looked at it in the last 3 weeks. I'm like, oh, well then. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Well, I think maybe tomorrow we'll talk more during the day and let more people know what we're doing and see if anybody joins us in the evening, and then we can just stay on longer since we don't have to be up Monday and just kind of see what time frame is working, because everybody seemed to really be lively on Sunday night, which surprised me. I thought Sunday nights would be the problem because so many people work Monday morning and they don't want to be up late Sunday because they have to get up at 6 a.m. on Monday.
Maybe it's people listening to us as they get ready for bed or they're winding down. Maybe Saturday, unfortunately, I hope not, but I hope you're doing it safely. But maybe a lot of people went out tonight. I hope you're all wearing masks if you're watching this on
Maybe
replay.
they're just like, I don't want to hear these queers talk again. I want to play. I want to play a game or something. I think it'd be really fun for us to play a trivia game.
Yeah.
Let's play. I know what we can do. Let's play a strip trivia game tomorrow. We'll market it. We'll get like brain teasers or something. I can pick some up at Target, and we can do it. We have to wear the same amount of clothes though. So shoes, socks, sweatpants, hoodie, underwear, zip up, hat, beanie, or whatever, and then everybody can just like join Cody and I and watch us play strip brain teasers. And no cheating, like no phones. So you have to answer the question like this. I think that would be fun.
So we
Actually, I think it'd be fun. Do you think Justin and Gabe would watch, or they just be like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Oh, they'd be asleep.
That's like the level of excitement. If I was like, David, I'm gonna play strip brain teasers with Cody, he'd be like, "That's cool. I'm reading a book."
Well, I think he's still logged in.
So no, actually, I think he is still logged in. Well, after this, because since the crowd meter is low, normally after our lives, I'll go like take a shower or eat something. But tonight I'm gonna actually go to the gym, and because I have to.
Work that body.
Well, unfortunately, since I have to go to the gym no matter what now, I've decided I'm just gonna try to take advantage of that. And like, you know what? Since I already have to go, I might as well just try to be jacked or something because I'll feel better physically if I am. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to all the comments of why do you have to go to the gym? You look fine. Why do you have to go to the gym? You look great. You're skinny. Why do you go to the gym? And I'm like, because I'm sick and I've been sick for a really long time and it helps. Oh, well, that's stupid. That sucks. But like, I'm jealous. I wish like I was sick in a way that made my body look good. I'm like, that's some dumb shit. Please don't say that to people. Like that is some dumb ass shit to say.
Some people just people don't think before they speak.
Right. Well, I can understand when you look at somebody and equate like, oh, well, they're trim, they're healthy, their skin looks clear, and they go to the gym 4 days a week and they probably eat right. Oh, wow, they're healthy. Because most people, if you worked out 4 days a week, ate moderately healthy and tried to sleep somewhat right, your body's going to balance itself out and look like a healthy version of itself. Barring like some kind of like a metabolism issue or a health issue that forces your body to carry weight or whatever. But, healthy comes in so many forms, and it's really frustrating when people, because I was so rail thin for so long, I hate when people try to use what I looked like as an example of, health and strength. And I'm like, no, that's not healthy. It wasn't even healthy for me. And I have a small body. And, so what, at the most fit I've been in this last year, and I have been fit, like moderately trim and happy with myself, but it's largely because I don't feel good if I don't exercise regularly. What we started doing, we're trying me taking an Aleve every day for a week for inflammation, to see if it eases up the discomfort in my joints and like overall frustrations and discomforts, which is probably why I'm like, yeah, sure, let's hit the gym. So we're thinking about buying like an exercise bike at home for me to be able to use when I can't go jogging, because I can't really go jogging here. It's just too hot. But an exercise bike I can use anywhere. And I actually like the bike, but then we would only have to use the gym for like upper body. So I was like, okay, well, we'll see what we do. I just maybe should do some sit-ups. Tighten up this core.
I use my the roller, which I love so much.
Oh, for like abs and stuff?
Apple. Yeah.
Where'd you go, Cody?
I don't know where it disappeared.
Your screen went up. There he is.
That was scary. I'm here. I was going to show this photo. I don't want to pull up anything inappropriate. Let's see. Speaking of like small, this was me in 7th grade. Are you ready?
Oh God,
I don't think you've ever seen this.
I am.
You'll have to see. You'll have to find which one's me. I mean, it'll be pretty easy, but.
Oh God. Oh.
Look how tiny I am.
Very front in the green jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I love the side part. That's so cute.
Like
you literally look 8 years old.
That was see if I have anything else. Show and tell.
Oh, I didn't tell you. I posted a picture of myself.
This is.
Go ahead.
This was the other day. Sophie decided to hang out by back door, and she hung out for an hour just sleeping.
She looks so much like Salem.
I know. I'm just so like. I wish that Ella and Salem were like cool, and
have you let them like interact? Do they hang out in the same spaces at all?
So no. So they've seen each other twice, and then there was cat fights. But then she got sick, and then so the vet's like, she can't be stressed out at all for the next bit. So she's still on her meds. So now we're like, because we actually started making plans again to like start the process, and then all that happened. So she probably did it on purpose.
Probably. Lying bitch.
This was her the other night. She just rolled over and she was like, I'm just gonna hang like this for a bit.
Ours are, well, Ava's trying to hang out in here with me, but I can't let her because I can't watch her and do this because that's when she wants to mess with stuff. But she's used to being able to play with me. David just texted me and the message appeared on my laptop screen. Because he asked if I wanted to go to the gym since the crowd meter is so low. I said after we're done on live, I said yeah, we can go. He goes, well, maybe when you stop doing a circle jerk with Cody. And I was like
Oh my goodness. Hey, normally I would say people are enjoying this, but I don't know where everybody's at.
Right, everybody's just kind of missing it. Some people did hear the comment about you sitting on my face yesterday because I've gotten some messages about it. And did you see Bobby's text about the or his post about the ice cream?
I did. That was so funny. I
Yeah,
didn't go back and watch
that
it
was,
yet. I did see it. That's funny.
it made me laugh a lot. I'm sure I'll text you from the gym because I usually do. You have like the sixth sense of, I don't know how you do it. I have not once been to the gym since I've been your friend and you've had my phone number. When you haven't texted me and I happen to be there, and you're like, hey, how's your evening going? You know, because most people text, like Steven and I text in the mornings, but you and I, unless it's a show, something we're doing or podcast related, we don't officially have a how was your day conversation until about 12 midnight my time. And I cannot stop hiccuping it. I'm so sorry. And I also don't really want to go to the gym at midnight, but we can only go when it's not super busy right now because we're still being very cautious.
I know, right? Another reason for that vaccine.
Yes. I don't mind going when it's busy as long as I can do something. David and I a lot of times would go and we just go to the weight area and share a bench. So one of us would do exercises standing up, the other would take the bench and then wipe down and switch and then wipe down and walk away. You know, we can work around each other without talking. It's not a deal.
Yeah. Normally we would like share a machine. So like I would do some reps, then he would take a break and I would do the reps and then we'd just swap back and forth.
Right. And during
we
busy
haven't been
times,
able to
it's
go
not the
either.
most
So it's
fun,
just been
but it's a way to go during the middle of the day if you need to go and you know, because it's not usually busy all the time all year round. This is just this last year and a half has just been weird. So it's like, well, that's fine, but I don't want to do that until we're vaccinated because I don't want to risk. We've done so well.
I know you don't want to like mess
right
it
at
up
the
here
end.
at the. Yeah, not at all. Well, I guess it's been a good quiet show. If you're watching this replay, you'll have to
Yeah, it's
join
the
us
first time nobody said
tomorrow.
anything.
Stephen did. Thank you for being here. If you're still
Yes.
here.
And David, my husband, for being supportive.
We'll have a show. I know, right? David, you will be having a show tomorrow at around probably 8:30 to 8:45 Pacific time, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if anybody shows up. But yeah, of course, we have a show every Friday at 5 Pacific. We have podcast episodes coming out Tuesdays and Thursdays, and coming soon. Matt's show is going to be debuting on Mondays. We're gonna record it this Monday and do some testing and working out and see the flow, see what we need to do. But yeah, well, that'll be coming very soon on Monday, so that's exciting. We're gonna start trying to basically put out all videos. If we have a video, it'll be coming out, I think, during the weeks, 5 o'clock Pacific. That way y'all can all get used to 5 o'clock Pacific on whatever day is when new content is debuting on YouTube and other social media.
It's really weird to log into YouTube
Facebook.
and see myself. I just want you to know. It's weird.
Are you in like a you showed up as recommended?
No, not yet, thank God. Which obviously that'd be great for us, but I, you know, for my own personal YouTube account, I follow ours because I watch it from mine just to watch it, and it's so weird to see us appear and then we just start talking, and I'm like, oh God, this is fucking weird. So, but anyway, thank you everybody that joined us and is still here. I know some people apparently just wanted to sit and listen tonight, and that's totally fine. But if you ever do want to join, just say something, send a text, DM in the chat here, or if you want to join us in audio and or video. We do know it works. We've tested it.
Yeah.
But thank you everybody for joining us.
And you can do it on your phone. You can do it on your iPad.
That's
So
true.
yeah.
I work off this
We will see
laptop or
you
David's
tomorrow.
iPad. All right. Bye everyone.
Okay.